that. So here are the three things that you need to know on this morning, this Thursday morning. And first up is Tesla. That's what I'm talking about here. One thing that could be helping sentiment sort of shift here as the shares rise 9%. Tesla, of course, out with a big earnings win after the bell, and that is sending those shares higher. The company beating on both revenue and earnings. And perhaps the biggest win was the record profit that it reported, $3.3 billion for the quarter here. A lot of other interesting tidbits and highlights in the quarter. And here to talk with us about it is our senior auto reporter, Pras Subramanian. And Pras, good morning. So what stands out to you from those Tesla numbers?
Yeah, Julie, real quick, just those big top line beats, right? $18.8 billion in the quarter, monster beat over the $17.9 that Wall Street expected. $3.32 adjusted EPS, another big beat over what Wall Street was seeing there. Free cash flow, $2.3 billion. It's almost like triple what the Street was expecting. Auto gross margins, 32.9%. I mean, this is like triple what traditional OEMs are making there. On the call, though, I want to highlight a couple of things and we can drill down on these. So Musk was on the call. He kind of revealed that he was going to do that middle of the day. Talked about how there's a reasonable shot of a 60% CAGR or compound annual growth rate over the 50% they normally say. He mentioned that it's going to be on track to be building a robo-taxi with no pedals and no steering wheel that will come out next year as a debut and then probably come out in mass production 2024. And also they said that the Cybertruck was on production, on schedule for industrialization for a next year release. So, those are things that I kind of hit at me right off the top was like, yeah, it wasn't a big earnings call, but there was a lot of little nuggets that Musk was throwing out there for investors and Tesla bulls, really.
Pras, are you ready for that review? To go in that car with no pedals and no steering wheel?
How do you review that car? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure you want to be the first one on that ride. But what caught my attention, too, kind of a downbeat earnings call from Elon Musk. Didn't mention Twitter here. Lacked a little bit of that Elon Musk bravado. But basically, I think he came away saying, we can charge whatever we want for our cars. They're going to continue to push through higher prices because of the cost increases they are seeing. And then he said, look, we have people that have ordered cars. They may not get them until next year, if at all.
Yeah, and he mentioned that the ASP or the average selling price would be much higher for those cars they deliver later in the quarter or later in the year, so they might actually have better margins going forward. Also, so I mentioned the fact that the component and shortage and the lithium shortages are kind of a big deal. He mentioned that, hey, get into lithium business if you like making money. He actually mentioned that in the call because that's their limiting factor is lithium. So I think they're trying to source that, make that work. They had a hit here with the Chinese Shanghai factory going down for almost a month there. But they claim that the run rates from Berlin and Giga Austin will actually offset whatever they lost in China in order to get to that 1.5 million, 1.6 million production rate in 2022.
Pras, I guess with the lithium issues and just generally with supply chain issues, what's the path to get to 1.5 million?
With regards to lithium, I think, Musk had mentioned that they might have more news coming on that. Maybe they will actually go to the source and try to get their own lithium that they can use for the gigafactories. That's, I think, the goal. They're hoping that new projects come online. There's one in California, a bunch in China that CATL are working on. So I think that's sort of like I think some of it's like we have strategy, but then we also have to hope that the lithium supply actually goes up in the next year.
And Pras, I can't help myself here. I'm going to plug the article I have right now on the Yahoo Finance homepage. He did mention the robot, the Tesla bot. I can't get enough of this thing. It looks absolutely hilarious. There is the Tesla bot, better known as Optimus. Now, Musk did say this robot has more potential than full self-driving. I suspect he means we're going to roll these out and they're going to be making our cars at some point.
Or I think he means that the actual product itself would be more valuable than FSD, which to us seems a bit unreal. But, a lot of Tesla bulls talk about their Dojo supercomputer is the best in the world, and they're just getting all this data from FSD, all this data from around the world they're collecting, and they're able to compute it and crunch it, and that will feed into Optimus.
These things are coming for our gigs. Pras, Subramanian, good to see you. We'll check back with you later.